WWE Deutschland, Penta.
I'm a longtime wrestling fan. I started
gives
watching
his answer if they talk about his dream being a mask versus mask match with Rey Fenix, and he gives comments on his brother finally coming to WWE.
Yes, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee against your brother.
That's this guy's feed cutting out too. I don't know.
This is my dream match: Penta versus Fenix, mask versus mask.
So he wants Penta Phoenix mask versus match, probably at a WrestleMania. Book it, pal. We'll do it in Saudi. No.
How about SummerSlam?
Yeah, that would be or next Mania. You do it at a Mania, bro. When are they in California? California.
Not for a while.
Super cool to the luchas. California. No. So WWE star Kiana James documents her road to recovery after suffering an injury last year.
No one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you. Unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you got to push yourself. You're not going to make your dreams come true. You're just not. We're not wired that way. You weren't born that way. You weren't that way when you were growing up, and you're certainly not that way as an adult. No one's coming.
Oh, sorry, guys. I zoned out and was about to pop a Molly listening to that beat there. Here's Pardon My Take. Okay. And they are talking with Cody Rhodes, who says Stone Cold Steve Austin used to babysit him as a kid back in the WCW days. And then they're saying he's got to help him at WrestleMania.
Stone Cold or The Rock?
Oh,
important question.
So I was, in the moment, I was Stone Cold.
Okay.
And in the moment, I was Stone Cold because stunning Steve Austin from WCW was on occasion my babysitter.
Oh,
on occasion.
That's pretty bad.
At Center Stage in Atlanta. And he was the nicest guy about it ever because he didn't really do a lot of babysitting as much as he'd sit me in the locker room and be like, hey, you want a soda?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, Steve. All right, stay here, though. Don't go anywhere. My match is next, and then I'll be back. It was really basic. Just keep an eye because my dad was running the show at the time.
Goddamn, kid, you want a beer? Oh, you're too young? What? I'll get you a soda. You want a Pepsi? What? Dr. Pepper? What? Mountain Dew? What? Mellow Yellow? What? You want Pepsi? What? Diet Pepsi? Sorry, go ahead.
You done?
Yes.
This was Steve trying to practice out fatherhood because didn't he have children at the time that he wasn't able to see or couldn't see because of being on the road?
Now you're really talking conspiracies. Now who's getting worse here? I'm just
I'm half in the bag.
So Conrad, the mortgage guy, goes, just saw not cool. That wasn't very cool now, Eric, to shoot on Charlotte Flair like that. What would you say to Conrad if he was here right now about that Tiffy segment being a work or a shoot?
I'd be like, are you dumb, Conrad? Like, seriously.
He'd be like, oh,
don't
come
even,
on now, awful.
Don't even try to grift it. The shit was a work from top to bottom, and that's all there is to it. And
So
send some more dick pills.
Running low. Balls are empty, fucking running low. Rey Fenix says he's living the dream. Very emotional after his match on SmackDown as well.
Oh my God, I feel amazing. You know, yeah, it's just the child inside my heart.
Don't start. Oh, come on now. Don't start laughing now. This motherfucker burst out laughing at this dude.
Emotional damage.
Hold on. You gotta rewind it. Because he goes, I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, come on, Awful. This man's a moment. It's his dream come true. What's your dream, Awful? He can't even.
I live in the dream, you know. I feel amazing. I feel ready.
He gotta stick his fingers in his mask
just the beginning.
Just to wipe his face.
I know this is just the beginning. I am in the best company in the whole world. And now I'm here. I'm here. And I'm ready for any opponent.
It's like the Blair Witch tape. I'm so scared right now. I'm so scared.
Dude.
I am
I love Phoenix, dude. Shut up, Phoenix.
ready for any match. I am ready for any opportunity. I'll always be ready. I am the man who never die. The man of 1,000 lives. Thank you.
Did he just do the double sniff? Like there was still a little bit left on the mirror? Like
Yeah, dude. He's emotional, man.
Yeah.
So
am I right now.
Yeah. Get it together, awful. Booker T here piped back at Vlad TV, and I did a whole pod on this with Grapple Vision where we dive in deep because he's been like investigating that shit, basically, more or less like documenting it rather as like a documentarian for a while now, and so we dive in deep. But yeah, just Booker T showing that Vlad was lying as well because Vlad just cut off the messages, right? I had a goofball in the IWC do that to me too. So yeah, and it just showed me being incredibly nice, and it was like, well, you're ruining my gimmick here, bud. Like for one, no. But Charlotte and Tiffany said very little of what was in the rundown for them, off script quite a bit. That's Wrestle Votes. Get the out of here. This is the real Wrestle Votes, by the way, but anyone can say anything after it happens, you know? That's the problem with this shit. So
that's a lot of people are saying like, it's gone off script, and that's how the narrative spreads, and that's how Phil Marks gets worked.
Yes, exactly, and that's how these dirt sheets operate too. It's just all like, you know, Dave Meltzer, 90% of his business is like, well, you know, Kevin Owens has a neck injury, and then he can go, oh, well, it was believed to be that the neck injury, like, you know, he can just make anything up after that, you know, well, the idea behind this was that, and it's like, well, it just happened, so it doesn't matter what you say now about it. It's Captain Hindsight bullshit. Anyway, Stephanie Vaquer revealed today that her signature triangle head slam move is called the Devil's Kiss via No Contest Wrestling. Shout out, Rich Eisen show, buddy. I forget his goddamn name, and then O'Shea Jackson Jr.
And that's the move. The move that sets NXT on fire. The move that makes Booker T lose his mind every week.
Oh, my God.
O'Shea, the move that makes camera ops almost lose their job because they understand the assignment.
Oh, my God, TJ.
Now, full disclosure, we've seen Charlotte Flair use this move before, but not to the effect that you use it.
Yeah.
What is the move called?
Right.
Does it have a name? And if it doesn't, can we name it right now?
Matt Bloom, coach, say Devil Kiss.
The Devil's Kiss.
Yeah, I love this name.
So Matt Bloom named it. What a gangster. Here we go. Moving along here. No thoughts on that, awful? You goddamn Grinch. You a Grinch about Vaquer too, or what?
God, I was just discussing this with my cousin the other day because he was just like, "Oh my God, you see these bitches in NXT? They're bad as hell and all this other shit." I was like, dude, all of them would be my daughters. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm past that point where it's just like I got to look at them with salivating lips and all
like
that.
Her in the foot. No, I'm not even talking about that, bro. I'm talking about her.
But
like,
can I cook?
Or
can I cook?
Yes, you can, bro. But I'm not talking about thirsting over her. I understand.
No.
Like, yeah,
I was okay. But as far as like her in-ring skills, I've not seen too much, obviously, because I'm a part of a show on Tuesdays. But I like the fact, I enjoy the fact that she is seemingly carrying the company and doing such a marvelous job after losing to Mercedes Moné back in AEW. I'm so glad she rolled the hell out of there. So that's where I admire Stephanie Vaquer. Not seeing too much of her, but yeah, what I do see of her, it looks like she's doing well.
Yeah, I'm a big fan, and I get it. She is very gorgeous. But yeah, her in-ring ability is like second to none. She should just be on the main roster,
Right.
in my opinion. She's that good. But I get it, just give her time to learn English. And she's doing such a great job with NXT and just getting her name out there. And when she does finally show up, it'll be much anticipated. Pat McAfee is potentially facing legal action over allegedly spreading misinformation. Okay, so what this is like there's this story that went viral about this this lady who I guess was cheating on a college athlete with her dad or something, allegedly. I have no clue. I don't want to speak on it because I have no clue. Right? We'll get Hughes
Allegedly.
But yeah, it was like a love triangle with this guy's father or whatever. McAfee spoke about it on his show. She's like, I'm going to sue his ass because it's a huge show and he's rich. And you know what I mean? And I'm going to sue him for stress and all of that sort of stuff. So, yeah, unfortunate, because what is he going to say? Well, I'm a comedian. It's a comedy show or whatever. Right? Like I can hide behind that.
Yeah, it won't go far in courts.
Yeah.
I mean,
it
was a passing story one day on the Pat McAfee show. It's not like he
and
spent
everybody
weeks and
talked
weeks.
about
Yeah, really.
Yeah. So moving along here, WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley has revealed he's currently in hospital with a minor concussion after being involved in a car accident. Very unfortunate, but this is like the 400th in his life, right? I mean, Jesus Christ.
I need that for when disc cracks jokes on Tuesday. Damn it. You got to send that over.
Yes, I will, bro. I'll send you the MP3. So a tough day for Mick, though. I hope if that's his car, goddamn, I'm just happy that he's like alive and isn't. But if anyone's going to survive, it's Mick Foley, dude. And then Julia returned at NXT Crystal River. So she had a visa issue. There wasn't an injury problem. That was all made up. And I think maybe she's going to be in that ladder match at Stand and Deliver. And then she'll win the North American title. And then they sort of did a switcheroo with I don't know. Maybe that's not it either. Maybe they just send her right to the main roster or they set up a rematch with Steph. It doesn't really matter what they do. Julia is she's here, and I guess that issue got resolved rather quickly, and they're just using her at house shows because they don't necessarily need her on TV, and they can roll her out in a minute when we get through Steph and Jordan Grace. Maybe they wait till after. Maybe she comes out at Mania, and I don't know, or at Stand and Deliver rather, and challenges Steph after Steph defends against Jordan, or whatever who knows, but I'm glad to see she's not hurt. So Kelly also said that Vince McMahon came up with her name, and she said that she had that Vince had seen a Cheers episode, and she says, I guess the girl bartender is Kelly. It was before my time. There was a song Kelly. That's how Kelly became. So Vince was watching Cheers and was like, yeah, that's amazing, pal. I'm gonna use that for my show. So Kevin Owens as well. We didn't talk about this during the review too much because I wanted to talk about it in news and play this clip and get your reaction off. So Kevin Owens announces, he's had a lingering neck injury for a long time. He's hurt real bad. Randy Orton comes out, RKO's Nick Aldis after he's told that, he's going to need an opponent for WrestleMania. People are saying it might be Nick Aldis. I don't know about all that. It would be really cool, though. I think that it should be him. Just give Aldis that shot. But I mean, people would be like, "What? The general manager's just fighting Randy?" I don't know. But either way, though, Kevin Owens announces his retirement. Essentially, as far as not full-blown retirement, but he may never wrestle again. That's how he's trying to sell it. And he actually gets very mad at the dirt sheets for leaking this out. Everyone's saying, yeah, he's off Mania. And he gets mad in an interview that he did with someone else with Barstool. I think I'm going to play the clip in a second, but he announces his injury retirement. So this is when Edge was, I don't know, or maybe not that severe, but it's I have a lingering neck injury. Big E has one of those. He's probably not ever going to wrestle again, So with KO, He's done everything there is to do. Does he ever wrestle again? It could be that serious. He has to have neck surgery. That could take a long ass time. Or maybe he just powers through it like Steph DeLander, you know, but Kevin Owens has been through it much longer than she has. So I'm sure it's not as simple as, you know, he has stenosis on his spine and all this shit. Anyways, though, this fan, after KO says this shit, and here's the thing with KO, you don't know, like it could have been a ruse where he just like headbutts Randy Orton and is like, psych, just kidding, you know? So for a bit there too, you're like, is this just part of the show? You don't know. But it seems like it was real. But this fan was yelling at KO, like, you're still shit. And then he like piped off on this dude. He's like, who said that? He's like, shut up, you dumb bitch. That's what KO just said to him. And he's like, you or whatever. Sorry, Twitch. So yeah, like what a piece of shit, but also like how does, you know, you can't expect him to fully know in that moment because KO's always like, you don't know, he'll pile drive you and then they take him off in a stretcher. Like, is he working, shooting? Were we supposed
Who's
to
a
feel
piece of
bad
shit,
for him?
Phil?
The guy for saying you're a piece of shit to him in hindsight.
Oh
like
my
I'm
God.
no, I just
Go ahead.
defended. No, I didn't say that. I'm saying awful. You got to follow this train of logic here. I'm like, yeah, that guy's a piece of shit, but how do you expect him to know? Because that's the sentiment. Everyone's like, oh, this guy's what a scumbag. But I that's why I prefaced it, and I'm saying now, like, but how do you know with KO when he's pile driving dudes and they're kayfabe taking them off on stretchers, and you know he's the kind of guy he headbutts Vince, and he's you don't know if he's working or shooting. So that's why I prefaced it as well. So yeah, that guy's a piece of shit, I guess, in hindsight, but like, are we really going to be mad at him for like having heat with KO? And we don't know, right? Like next week, if he came out and super kicked Orton, would you guys be surprised? You know, but obviously it's like a real thing because he went on to confirm like, no, this is a real thing. But if you're a guy in the crowd, you don't follow all the internet dirt sheet gossip. How the are you supposed to know? Right. Yeah, we move along here though. KO.
Oh, before we move along, KO is thin-skinned. There's my opinion on that.
Why? Because he's talking shit to a guy in the crowd?
Yeah. Guy paid money to yell whatever he wanted to yell at the man.
Okay.
Kevin Owens could have just kept on walking, just like we all keep on scrolling when we see trolls in our orbit. So
anyway. KO responds to like the dirt sheets, you know? And he's like, dude, you guys like robbed me of my ability to like tell people this serious thing about my life. This is my mom's basement. With Barstool or whatever. I forget this guy's name, but let's listen to what KO has to say.
We're talking about an injury.
Yeah, it really annoys me. Actually, I woke up to seeing that it was already leaked, and it really upsets me, especially because I know that whoever leaked it is some office employee that shouldn't know this shit in the first place. And that was I told people like, this is going to leak. They're like, no, we're keeping it tight knit. But then yesterday, obviously some departments had to find out for some reasons. And now someone who shouldn't know this stuff found out and it went where it shouldn't. And now now they took away my right to tell people because now everybody knows already.
Oh my God. You know what? Work.
I don't know, man. He's done crazy shit. He just had that insane match with KO or with Sammy where they're you think this last minute, the guy that they plugged into the main event to wrestle Stone Cold last minute, they're just like, oh, he can't wrestle Randy at Mania. Or you just thinking like a week, he's like, psych, I'm back. There's no way they just leave Randy hanging like that last minute out of nowhere.
How do you draw instant heat to that match?
It already had heat, though. No. This is
what was the heat? What was the heat? Tell me what the heat was.
They were tag partners. You're even just saying before, Awful, that you don't even watch all the shit. So
yeah. But see, here's the thing: if there was heat, I'd know about it. If it was controversial, I'd hear about it.
So
if there's
like
no
Sami
heat,
Zayn being stretchered off, all that shit, none of that registers because that's all beats to this story leading up to WrestleMania, Orton and KO. Like none of that shit registers. The pile driver on Sammy,
okay,
and then Orton coming back, and they were friends, and then KO, turns his back.
I think this man put the cat out of the bag when he said like somebody who leaked it from the office. We all know that those leaks are extremely few and far between. Okay, Who exposed that Kevin Owens had an injury? Was it some rag like Fightful?
Yeah, it was all the rags were just like all the shitty dirt sheets were just like, yeah, they all just were reporting on it. He's injured, he's out of Mania, he's injured, he's out of Mania, he's injured, he's out of Mania. Yeah.
Interesting how the WWE, somebody in WWE, feeds them that line, but they were not. But for weeks on end, months on end, we were told like that shit's done. And if they are feeding them, they're feeding them what? Misinformation. So this could be one of those things. Until April 20th and 21st, we won't know. But
I just feel
I'm smelling a work.
I just feel like it feels so sudden because KO they just because now they have to get Orton an opponent like right away. And if it's not Aldis is going to be pissed and give him someone unfavorable for Orton because he's like, dude, you're going one-on-one with the Undertaker. No, I'm just kidding, but it's got to be someone like they have to build that right away now. They have to make sense of that ASAP for Orton, otherwise he doesn't have a wrestling match. And I know he's like struggling through an injury right now too, kind of like, I'm not saying it'll actually be Undertaker, but yeah, I pray this is a work then. Awful. You're saying every single thing is a work, you know? So
SmackDown needed these things to happen on that show to make SmackDown interesting. I'm a big picture guy, so it's just like none of this is really in a vacuum for me. Everything is serving a purpose. The interview that Kevin Owens that we just heard serves a purpose. His feigned upsetness of being told, oh, I wasn't given a chance to speak about my injury because there was a leak or whatever. Just very, very convenient. And as you can see, a lot of people are talking more about SmackDown this week because of, they really front loaded the entire show with things that you'd had to pay attention to. Whereas before they weren't really even doing that. Sorry, I can't mine any comedy out of this right now, but I'm just thinking to myself, like, yeah, this is damn, I watched too much wrestling, or I've watched wrestling for too long, because like this is not passing the sniff test for old awful here.
Fair enough. KO goes off on Matt Riddle. We covered this here on PWT, how Riddle said that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens were kind of difficult to work with because it's hard to get a word in edgewise with them. And so here's Kevin Owens' response to Matt Riddle saying that.
Accusation that you and Sami are hard to work with. I saw this from an interview that Matt Riddle did recently. I was curious if you saw it or if it took you by surprise at all.
No, it didn't take me by surprise, but I did see it. It's funny, because coming from him, I have nothing against him at all, but he's to me, he's a guy who had really amazing opportunities handed to him, like being Randy's tag team partner for so long and basically getting to ride the coattails of a legend. And he managed to screw it all up, not because of his abilities, because he's very talented and very athletic, but because of his own attitude and poor choices, so for him to say that we're hard to work with or whatever it is and he couldn't get a word in, there was a pretty good reason for that, like
shit, they were like, shut up, Riddle.
He you look at his track record and you look at our track record, I think that speaks for itself. But if that's how he felt,
is that a work awful? Is he working Matt Riddle? He's gonna go fight the MLW champion and be like, surprise, my neck's not hurt. Is that
You what? You fucking
it's fine. I can't say he's wrong when he said like it was hard to get a word in. Probably was, because we probably didn't let him get a word in too much, just because we'd been around him and we work a certain way and it works. So yeah.
Shit, it doesn't work for me, brother, is what KO was saying. Checking in with chat right away, but so just on the Tiffany stuff, so when she's like, when Charlotte was like, Ludwig's in my DMs, pulled a Conor McGregor, right? He famously said that to Dustin Poirier, like, your wife was in me DMs. And so Charlotte's like, yeah, that's why Ludwig's in my DMs. And then Ludwig responded with a meme of Shawn Michaels where he's like, please do not flatter yourself. So he clapped back. But we scroll down here, and if it wasn't obvious that it was a work enough, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Gossip says, everyone I'm speaking to believes that Charlotte and Tiffany went heavily off script.
Jeez.
And then Alba says, by the way, this report here is accurate, and I was told the situation was extremely contentious after the segment, including with higher ups. The end of the segment very much went off the rails completely. Very curious if it has ramifications on WrestleMania plans. They're going to pull the plug on the match.
Dumb bubbleheads don't know a damn thing. How in the world are they going to? Oh, by the way, Sean Ross's report is accurate, but meanwhile they're being fed horseshit each and every week by the WWE, and now all of a sudden they're going to give these people the truth. Like, oh, you know what? We had these two professionals. They kind of went off script. What purpose does it serve the WWE to have Sean Ross Sapp or John Alba know that information? Oh, I wish people would start using their heads out here. God,
yeah, dude.
Damn it.
If it wasn't obvious enough for that one. Okay, so we scroll back down and let's check it out here. So here's a list of banned commentary terms from 2015. This went viral again, so I just wanted to reread it because it's funny. Belt strap, the business, our industry, feud. You weren't allowed to say feud. War, performance, performer, choreograph, house show. That's so funny. Performance, performer. That's all wrestlers call themselves now. Performer. I'm a performer. House show. Use live event. Backstage. Use in the back, in the locker room area. Pro wrestling, pro wrestler. Superstar, star athlete. International, global. The earth is flat, pal. No.
Just so you know, Phil, I remember when this first came out. You're right. This is pretty old. This was gigantic news back then. Gigantic.
Shot, acrobatics, interesting. You weren't allowed to say that's interesting, pal. DQ. You had to say disqualification. Talent. Me. I. Inside terms, heel, babyface, blown up, shoot, rib, mark, etc. U.S., United States, fans. Refer to the audience as you. Raw fans, our fans, Cena's fans, etc. Hospital, obviously. Faction, you have to use group. This group of superstars, please use now available instead of on sale. We never want to use the title is on the line. The title will be defended. Man, Vince was a mad genius in some ways, and then in other ways, it's like, what the fuck was your problem? Like, way too uptight about some of this shit. We have Ren Sinclair will be at Reality of Wrestling Pay Up. So shout her out. Every Wednesday is Wednesday. Hornswoggle will be at WWE Fanatics. Dylan Postel at WWE World. So shout him out. That's amazing. Get you a little swoggle action. So we have some more news here. Here's Rey Fenix hugging it out with Triple H, Tony Khan style, right?
Good start.
Tony's like, well, that's my gimmick. Now I'm going to use the point. Oh, wait, I already do that one too.
Yeah, but Triple H didn't close his eyes and like really get into it. You know what I mean? Like he didn't rub his back. He was just like, all right, dude, chill out, dude.
Smell him, smell his cologne, right? Tony like takes a whiff of their neck. That's very Dolce and Gabbana. Naomi reveals the mark that Jade left on her face. She's got a goose egg.
Look what she did to my freaking face!
Don't break that window, bitch.
Yeah, don't Goldberg yourself right before.
Yeah, really.
We're going crazy in the Fed right now, dude. But she's doing tremendous work, really transformed herself. Kevin Owens, we spent enough time, I think, with Kevin Owens stuff today, but he did say that he has the hope that one day his dream match is Shawn Michaels if he ever is able to come back and Michaels is ever able to come back, which like he never said he's done forever, but when someone says neck surgery, like that sort of goes without saying a little bit, you know, but like we do in 2025, bro, like Delander came back from neck surgery and like, I mean, she's not bumping around right now, but like she's on TV again, and it feels I think it's like 3 months or some shit, you know. So it's like, I mean, KO will power through this. I'm sure they'll fill him up with all the TRT and whatever he needs. But yeah, he wants to wrestle HBK, and who doesn't, right? Here's Stephanie Vaquer hitting real flying armbar techniques inside of the UFC octagon in the Performance Institute in Mexico.
Oh, he loved every second of that.
And look how she hooks his like inside or his outs you know, the leg on the outside where
In
she
out.
has it like figure forward with her arms there. That's just like good pro wrestling technique. So that's awesome. Just, you know, bringing media hype to the PI in Mexico. You're going to see a lot more crossovers. Speaking
He's
of
like,
hype,
let's do that again.
yeah, he's like, can we try that? Let's test out the Tombstone pile driver next.
In the shower.
Yeah. You what? So national treasures recognize national treasures. Nickelback, right? Chelsea Green said, oh, look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. So Nickelback said the longest reigning women's U.S. champion in WWE history, and shouted out Chelsea Green. There you go, over like Rover. Kevin Owens, went off. We talked about that. We talked about the dirt sheets. So CM Punk is excited for his WrestleMania main event. He said that Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins are two guys that I helped kind of get here to the main roster many moons ago. And so shout out CM Punk. We don't need to watch all of that. However, and I don't want to play all of SmackDown, right? Because we already got in trouble for that. But awful. At one point during SmackDown, CM Punk came out at the beginning of the show and he walks around, touches all the fans, his hands and all that. And then he grabs the camera away from the cameraman and shows the hard cam side to the world, right? To everybody watching. He shows the camera or like, and then they show it on the screen and then they show it to us at home. But like you're in the building, he's pointing the camera at the hard cam side. Everyone's like, oh shit. It's obviously a shot at like, you know, Nicholas and Matthew Jackson running laps in the ring in that dead ass collision in what I'm assuming was the same building or a neighboring one, to say the least. But what do you make of this? Clearly a shot at AEW and clearly just Punk like having fun and going off script a little bit, which maybe lends a little more credibility to your Tiffany theory because, you know, Punk went a little long too. It seems like
that show needed to be loose. And it needed to be, you know, slightly controversial. But as far as like, and I'm not on ketamine, by the way. I don't even know what that is. But what is ketamine, Phil? Just real quickly.
It's a drug, and you can get some at Save with Conrad. No, just get some at SaveWithPWT.com.
But as far as like, oh, thank you. Well, today I learned. But as far as like Punk grabbing and doing the conscious decision of showing the hard cam side, I'm not buying it. Now, what Elite Rockers said, what he's posted here, is something that I would post, but I don't think Punk had that intention in mind.
I think he did. I think showing the hard cam side is like a big FU to AEW. Doing this,
yeah, in the way that we see it, but I don't think CM Punk, you know, being swept up in Chicago, being in the moment. I mean,
he's
you know,
petty as shit, bro. He's taking shots at them, doing like interviews for the video game and stuff. Like he don't give a man. Or like WWE World. He's like, it's not even like for WWE. He's just there, like talking to some random, and he'll just throw shots. I think he was showing the hard cam side for a reason. And also that's Jericho's bit to like grab the camera or whatever, which I'm sure he stole from someone else. But nonetheless, it just had the internet talking. And I think, this is him being like, look how packed this is. Like, look at the business we do. You know, you guys go to Cincy with Moxley and don't even get 1,200 people there, and he's your reigning world champion. Speaking of AEW, though, the war continues. 650,000 on NXT with a 0.15 in the demo, 594 for Dynamite with a 0.16 in the demo. So they won the night, Brian.
Yeah, I know he's in the chat. George Capter, I'd love to hear his thought on this. Just hit 1 or 2. 1 for yes, 2 for no. But were you a little nervous, George, when you saw that NXT the night before it got in 650? Because I know personally that I was just like, here's AEW's chance. Here's their chance to break the streak. And not only did they not break the streak, they actually broke their own streak of higher ratings. They fell to, what was it, 594 from last week's 6 something or other. So that little, yeah, I know. I'm kind of drawing a blank. I'm on ketamine, but I'm trying to remember if it was 670 or either way. They lost. They lost that momentum that I knew, because I said it on Jake and George's show. This little run that they've got where they're going up 5, 6, 7% a week or whatever, it's going to die out. And I knew that when that whole spot happened with Moxley and Edge, the curiosity factor went right out the window. There were people, average people on Twitter. They were on Facebook and Instagram. Regular people going, what the F is going on with this particular wrestling company? They actually thought it was an indie fed. I looked around and I saw some of the comments that normal people, non-casual fans, people who aren't even fans, they were like, this shit's disgusting. Taz even said on the program, I think I'm going to throw up. So there it is right there. That's how you lose people. Yeah. So way to go, Dynamite.
Speaking of the numbers, ladies and gentlemen, that was WWE News. Round of applause for that.